200, and you claim those, and the amount that you get is based on, we said 2 weeks, right? Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you get that certain amount. You have an army, it dies. You have to wait 2 weeks. Or if you have the money, you can buy it, it gets deducted. You have your army spawned in based on where your main spawn point is. So it saves the wait. Obviously the map movement's a bit quicker now, so you can move 4 tiles, and then there's the perks that we have for faster movement speed. We're also considering the idea of maybe, since we have the map movement perks, we could maybe do something regarding
Regional perks for gold.
regional perks
So,
based on
example, Iron Islands would be the poorest. Obviously, they're not getting enough gold. So, if any house spawns in the Iron Islands, they would, let's say, go invade the Reach or the Westerlands, right, for more gold.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, but like,
I want to say something.
Yeah,
So-
go on.
When you remember Kieran Sean, right? Noctis last year.
Yeah.
When he implemented the economy system, that was something I personally asked him to do, and it was extremely hard to balance. And once it was actually implemented, it was very bad, in my opinion.
But
And if you're
I
able
think-
to properly do this with enough planning and enough because you're also gonna have to manage this. Somebody's gonna
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
constantly get this in. If you have to
Obviously, you'll have to have a
it's gotta be
spreadsheet
more
that,
than just Kaya
that-
this time regarding it.
yes,
yeah,
you should probably
because
have somebody else to do the economy, not her.
I don't want to diss her. She is a bit slow on like giving houses the shit they need and doing map movements overall. She needs the help. So obviously, I'm always down to help like other departments. So if I need to do the fucking spreadsheet, I'll do it. But yeah, going Crispa, what do you want to
Okay.
say?
I think this is a bad idea.
You think it's
Okay,
a bad idea?
so let's say Egan, for example, is around this genre, has Crown for, let's say they've Crown for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
A third Sashuk/Doomid comes around, wanting to dethrone Egan. Egan has now 50 tiles, 3 regions, 300 million gold. They lose an army, they respawn them instantly, and keep going for them.
The one
Right?
spawn at KL, they'll be spawning at the Aaron.
Okay, well, actually, Warmy, regarding that, instead of buying back your army, buying units is better. Units meaning you just only get +2, rather
No.
than buying a full-on
But-
army.
The point, no, that's not the point. The point is that people, like new houses, the reason
Okay.
that you're changing the interactive map is because the new houses coming in are having a hard time establishing themselves. And now you're
Yeah.
chucking them even harder because they'll spawn with 0 gold and 0 land
No, the
against
one
people with
spawn was
gold
0
and
gold
land.
and 0. The one spawn was 0 gold.
Every house is gonna start
Well,
off
that's
with
gonna
a
be
bunch of
abused.
gold, right?
No.
Okay, well, I
So-
mean, I'm down with the system. I'd like to be part of it, like the process of doing it, but because I have
We'll
some
do a
ideas for that
poll
too.
regarding all seeing the idea on that. See, one of the thing is, we thought about defender tiles. Not all of it would be defender tiles. So that if people have like a bunch of houses and a bunch of tiles easy to claim, they're easy to claim. If you want to get to defending that area, you obviously have to have an army outwards to go to it.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
say with Egan having that, obviously, there's a bunch of tiles. The only ones that will have defender tiles are siege houses, which are ones will have the whole income of gold. So say if you did manage to invade King's Landing and I had that certain amount of gold, and you decided you won against the Crown War, that's yours, the income total from that. From the siege of it. So Casterly Rock as well, you siege Casterly Rock, you obtain all of their income just like that.
Look at the
But
rest
then,
of
then I'm thinking in the sense of like defender tiles. Obviously, you can't have, like I was saying, defender tiles, defender armies. Defender armies only spawn on certain parts, and by certain parts are the ones I'm talking about regarding farmlands or windmills. They would only have a defender army on those to go for it, or that, or we just keep it. That or we just keep it as it's at for only sieges with defender armies. So if they had to go for these certain farming areas that they actually have to defend by sending an army in, if they want to, for important income value that's used for respawning as well as other things that we could consider of doing. Which is why we were considering of adding in different things for, based on one army, we were going to add in more different sorts of tools of combat. Rather than just the plain old sword, that everyone has, we can also consider the idea of spears, great swords, and other sorts of things for combat. Based on per one army, we were thinking, we'll just do an example. One army has a total of 2 spear users. So then that's a total of 6 if they used all 6 of them. So you can imagine an army of 3 with obviously 6 spearsmen at King's Landing using it. So it's just a different change. It's the same with battle axes alongside. I don't think we're gonna do bows anytime soon due to the fact that it could easily be abused with hitbox expanders to hit everyone with
I
it.
don't know.
So
Nothing
that's the
I can
total.
say.
What I'm thinking is for weapons. Now, on the map, we're also thinking of like doing. Obviously, not everybody's gonna be able to get a certain amount of money or claim a certain amount of things. So on parts of the map, carriages of sorts. We're thinking, or maybe shipwrecks out at sea, all over the map, scattered about the place. Each of them having either income increases of large amounts or weapon usage that if you claim, you can bring it back to one of the castles that you own, drop it off there, and then you have your value increased. Or if it's weapon related and you bring it along to a siege, then you can use it up. Now, if you get intercepted by somebody else, so you go out to sea, there's like 10k, maybe like 50k gold out at sea, you go to it, you collect it, you're on your way back, and you get intercepted. Sea battle, straight away. If
Yeah.
it's pikes related, now you can either decide maybe we need to use these pikes to survive our army against whoever we're against, and you use it, and you manage to kill them off. Now we're deciding between the two of either they keep the spears for the defending raid, or it gets rid of it because they've had to use it to survive. Obviously they can decide to whether or not to not use it, and if they don't use it and they win, they obviously keep it. If they do fight and they lose it, that's the carriage loss to the opposing team who can then use it. So you can imagine, here comes Egan with a big amount of gold, and they're trying to transfer it all the way from their spawn point all the way to King's Landing, because they need to do that to deposit it there, and they get intercepted. That's a shit ton of gold for interception, and obviously they're going to have to use a reason to defend it more, with maybe more than one army. But then that leaves other areas open for capturing and invading. So that's why allies are a bit more important now. But obviously there's people that might try and make puppet houses and whatnot, and that will be verified through so it doesn't get abused as much. So when you have more and more armies coming in, allies, and a reason for it, I think that we're bringing a lot more people for different new communities realizing that they can do this, this, and that. Because the north, it doesn't get used. Most people stay down below in the Reach and the Westerlands and the Crownlands and whatnot. The north has an entire opened area that I can see a lot of people wanting to use for farming as well as their own income before they plan on doing marches heading down to King's Landing. Now,
Okay.
so that's all of that. That's the whole idea of that. And you all know regarding the White Walkers. If there's ever a time with the White Walkers, nothing will change on them. They won't have any worry about income or whatnot. It will just be based on how many armies we destroyed and endless amounts of armies.
Okay. So when they
just a lot.
kill an army, do they get their armies?
If they kill an army, they get your army. And obviously the
Okay.
gold will matter if you want to get something back fast enough to fight off against them, rather than having to wait 2 weeks or so for your army to come back.
Will your movement be slowed when you're carrying things like a carriage or like
I don't
loot?
think we'll consider, we need to think that through, because this is just like a random idea.
Yeah.
We're going to write up a
Yeah.
document regarding it for Friday.
Do you have this written down?
We'll do a staff VC, then we'll do another community VC with everyone here to read it and think through it before we consider about doing a community poll to see what people think about it as well. But we'll probably mostly decide on the council members here of what they feel on it. But that's the summary
Okay.
of it, of what we're planning on doing with the interactive map to maybe make it a bit more challenging. Right, I'm
Okay.
gonna stop speaking and drink my water. Hold on.
Yeah, if you guys want to say anything, like, dish out your opinions, now's the time to say it.
I think it's a good idea. I think once again, it just needs to matter of balancing. Like, if you can manage, yeah, make it fair, balanced as possible, then I think I'm down for
Did you do map movements for Lannister? Or did Sweet do it? Did you map movements for Lannister?
Junior.
Junior did. Okay.
31. And Zvi. V2.
Sweden too, yeah. So there's already little reason to become a house lord in this genre as it is. It's much better to just join someone else, and then you're gonna make a really super complicated way to do in map movements, like with economy. You need to incentivize more people to become house lords, because this sounds super complicated for a new house lord to get into. Get 15 members and also not die instantly when respawning, right?
Right.
Because the map movement, the interactive map needs to be like understandable to the point where you just need to study it in order to make a move.
This also gives incentive for big houses to just literally take these new lords and make them puppets.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what incentivizes actually.
That's like.
And then
that
they
should
farm
be
money for them.
I'm gonna take a random dude. I'm gonna say I'm fucking you're dying, or you serve me. You know what I mean? Because
And you give me all your gold, yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't like a bad thing.
That's literally
That's,
it.
that's strategically
let's be
a
honest.
thing you could do.
It's Game of Thrones, dude. That's gonna happen. Like, there's always gonna be
Yeah.
that one house that will just.
Yeah, but now you're promoting it, you're enabling it even more than it already was. Like
I think
Lannister,
honestly-
Lannister and Sui were already doing it before, chucking Western houses, but now you're just doing it, you're just incentivizing it by giving it a reason to do so. Instead of killing a noob house, you can now make them your gold slaves.
I think first we should look for more house lords before we can implement a system like that, because as we said, that will happen, and we don't have enough house lords to like have that happen. Because then half of the
That's why
genre
we
will
were
be so
deciding
interesting.
upon our
Okay,
new ideas for new
this will
members
require
when they come in.
scripting to do. So in the
How-
meantime, you should just give entire regions to Lord Paramount of that region. Let's say a majority of the Westerlands agree with Sarsfield being LP right now. You just give it to Sarsfield right now and give every single tile in the Westerlands to Sarsfield to distribute and to keep themselves. You know what I mean? There you go.
Okay.
Instead of them capturing tile by tile by tile for the first 10 weeks, just hand out all the tiles that are currently on the map to the Lord Paramount of that region. That's
Yeah,
it.
that would be a bad idea. It's like
That's a way better idea.
It's like CK2, how
So-
like one person that controls the whole domain instead of them just having 10 tiles in their LP.
So basically, none of the houses just have to do map movements. They just get their tiles, and then when they need to do map movements, they move their armies.
No,
That's
no,
it.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, okay, so let's say we do interactive map movements. They start tomorrow, let's say. Okay, they already
Yeah.
started, I know. Let's say they start
Right.
tomorrow. Every single tile is neutral except for the hometown, right?
Obviously.
Instead of starting like that, you just give every single tile in. So Egan is obviously Lord Paramount of the Vale, right? So just give every single tile in the Vale to Egan, for example,
Yeah.
so that they don't need to march around, like, to capture every single tile. Instead,
Right,
they can go to
so
war with
if
each other
it-
instantly.
So if the Lord Paramount loses in the battle somewhere, they die off.
They die
Goes
off.
to the
They
new
have no
LP.
armies. Yes.
If they have no
will end-
armies, all their tiles should be stripped off them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they
But-
only have their holding castle.
I
'Cause
think
then-
that's better, because if you go ahead now and start a genre and all tiles are neutral, it's gonna be like at least 6 or 7 weeks of just capturing tiles.
Yeah, and that's what
which is really
happened
boring.
when I was doing Harlow with Kieran. We literally spent the first month having to claim land, and then as soon as we were like ready to sail to King's Landing, the genre shut down.
Yeah. So instead, just kickstart a genre, give all the tiles to whoever the region agrees is their Lord Paramount. The Westerlands are really agreeable that they have Sarsfield as their Lord Paramount right now.
You want to
The
do
Eyrie
if the
is
other
Egan.
people are disagreeing, I guess we're gonna have to do probably.
You can do a
similar to
war.
the Crown War.
You can do a Lord
Yeah.
Paramount war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lord Paramount War for those areas.
Yeah.
And
I
then
mean,
they
it'd be
claim
the
all
best
those
thing ever.
tiles instantly.
But you need to announce this now so that they can prepare their
I mean,
wars.
it's not a bad idea because one, you
For next
decrease the
weekend.
amount of time it takes for the map to be like, for houses to take tiles. You're decreasing the amount of time.
there
So-
will be no time. They'll instantly
And,
go
that,
to war with
and
each
that's
other.
what we want to. And that's what we want to do. We don't want that anymore
Yeah,
because
there we go, that's the
houses
solution.
just leave the genre.
Instead of putting this Rorian guy on a 8-hour-a-day work schedule on making an economy system, you can just give all the tiles to whoever's Lord Paramount. That's it.
Thanks.
Don't worry,
and
don't
what
worry,
you can
worry.
do
I
is
was looking at you when he was
instead
talking about this.
and
I
have
was like,
hold, if you generally want an economy system, like just have each hold.
you
like,
need
each
months of preparation and setting it up.
each major castle just give passive income if you want to
Yeah.
do that.
I mean,
That's probably the best system.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
No, Doomit,
Okay, yeah.
Doomit, the current problem. So, when the genre starts, right, Doomit, everything is gonna be neutral, and everyone's gonna have to capture tiles one by one with their armies, which is really annoying and really tedious to do, and it takes like months to do. And also, there's the problem that big houses just destroy smaller houses, which is we're never gonna be able to fix that. I don't know how
Yeah.
we're gonna
It
fix
just
that.
can't be fixed, to be honest. Like, no matter
That
what
is how
we
the
do,
Game of
it's
Thrones
just-
is played.
They just need to be vassalized. That's it. Like
What I'm
So-
more worried about this genre is that with my good mate Sashuk and Sinnings joining Egan, who the fuck is fighting Egan? Because I don't give a fuck to do it anymore. And Doommate doesn't give a fuck enough. I guess Doommate can do it.
I mean,
But-
that's false. Prodigious is making his own house. Isai is making
Prod?
his own
Okay.
house.
I'm not saying it's false. I'm just
they-
worried.
No, but they have their competition, and I did actually talk to them, and they said they have no following, so they cannot fight against them. That's it.
I mean, there's nothing necessary we can do about.
So,
balancing
okay, yeah,
houses.
warn
That's
me,
not
warn
even
me.
fair.
Warn me.
There's an army
Tell Blood, Jackie, and Quinton to fuck off Doommate, because you need him now more than ever. They keep genre banning him while we're asleep, and it's not helping.
Because they keep banning him because we keep telling him to stop posting that fucking image about.
I don't post the image. You told me I can post it in group chat.
Would you not
And I
post
posted it in
it?
group chat.
Just don't even
Hey,
risk
good
it.
shot.
But he's
You
more
just-
important than a picture. He's more important. He's more
You
important than a
told me
picture
I
for me.
can post stuff in
Listen,
group
We
chat.
need competition for
Wait,
Egan.
wait,
Do
this should
meet
not
and
be
Prod.
drama.
We
This
need
This
both
should
of
not
them.
be drama.
I
This
said
should
if
not
it's in
be
a group
drama.
chat, it's in a group chat. I never said to post that on the fucking Discord, you sausage. No wonder he's going off in my DMs right
I
now.
mean, you should
Discord
just
was wrong.
follow the rules, don't we?
Yeah. Just don't post
Stop
that.
being a
Like,
snake.
But we need to meet, even if he's not following the
We
rules.
don't.
Stop being a
Doomit
sped,
do his own thing.
so you
I
can
guess we don't,
stay.
but-
Doomit got-
we don't.
Hey,
Rules
hey,
don't
hey,
change for
On the
someone.
first day of the genre, on the first day of the genre, I posted it.
Doomit
And that was
has
it.
At least 17 alts that he can get on and start a house with his alts if he wants. let's be honest here and let's not fuck around. Oh, let's get Doomit, man. He needs to follow the rules like the rest of us.
Stop being a sped.
They're,
I've never broken a rule
they're
before.
banning Zvi. They're banning me for no reason. They're on a witch on Zvi. Look at the chat. Let me show
They're
you.
witch hunting.
Okay,
Doomit,
they
you're right,
no,
are.
do it. They have a
They're
minor
going
reason.
after
They're
you
gonna use
because
that
of what
against
I
you.
DM'd you with, you monkey. That's what you posted.
You give them
On
a reason. They're
community.
gonna
On a
use
group
that
chat.
one
On a
thing to
group
witch
chat.
hunt you.
On a group
The
chat.
group chat was from there. Look, it says community at the top. You posted
should
the
make
group
it-
chat of a thing that was posted regarding Jackie's tits out.
What's
Don't
so bad
post
They're
about
pretty
that?
nice. They're pretty nice, though, can't lie.
Or it shouldn't even matter where it's posted.
It's
That
what
shouldn't
you
be
did.
a
I
good
did
thing
say that.
regardless.
Don't post it
That
on
should-
the
you shouldn't
Discord.
accept it. Yeah.
Don't post it on
Zvi,
the
look
Discord.
at Zvi. Look at what I tagged you. Look at what I tagged you.
Yeah, son.
Yeah, these guys are out to get me. I've been muted basically every day in this Discord for nothing.
Being
That's
retarded.
tough, man.
That's
Just
not being
message
retarded.
them.
Look what I sent.
Just don't do anything that's gonna get you muted. I don't know.
Look what I sent.
I saw what you
tagged 2
sent.
months. What the hell am I meant to do?
Wait, Ben, Issa, look in chat.
That happened
Doomit,
like
look in
last
chat.
week.
Look, it's how is it hard to not post pictures of someone?
How
this
is it hard to not remove
you
blood
have
and
the
replace them
mental
with
capacity
Noctis?
of a 5-year-old to me? Come
How
on.
is it not hard to replace blood with Noctis and replace Jackie? They're both
Okay,
awful ones. They don't do anything to help you, and you haven't
Noctis,
replaced
have
them.
you already ran down the economy system?
You guys can't tell me anything that they've done.
No, Andromeda. This is just something I was just randomly thinking
okay.
of while I was just
I will-
playing.
That's
Uh,
fine. Start writing down like the main things you
Yeah,
want.
but
Yeah.
judging from what you guys said, right now it's a 50-50. It just needs to be implemented in such a way that it's actually effective. That,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
what I'm.
That's
You
why,
shouldn't-
This is why Jerry's going to be writing up a lovely little document for Friday when we discuss it here again.
No, but if you're gonna start with economy, you start small by having only castles give you income, and then you gradually transfer over from the current interactive map of capturing tiles for LP into a more economy-based interactive map.
Right.
Going
so
from
we'll have castles based on income.
Yeah.
yeah,
if
that's
you
what you
have
start
the-
with.
So people
and then
will start to
tiles
siege
after
that
that.
on the castles.
So then, okay, eventually, after castles have been set, we later on add in like some
Yeah.
farm resources and all that. Just later on.
But you
right
add it
now-
by
Yeah.
step by
Right.
step
So
to
in the
slowly
meantime,
transfer it.
in the
yeah.
meantime, over the weeks that pass by of these certain places that you can siege, we would still be doing the army, correct? So if you have King's
You want to
Landing,
still do buying armies?
yeah, we would buy armies off of the invasions from capturing, obviously, more castles you have.
So is that
Obviously, if
like
you have
an
your own
idea-
castle,
So, how does so? Let's say a house wanted to camp a smaller house. And that smaller house did not have enough money to buy armies.
right? Sorry. I'm thinking, obviously, on the map, rather than just basing it off just the main castles, we'll add little towers of sorts on parts of the map. So that's another bit of area that you can do for income, rather than every tile that you claim. So it's more than just siege invasions. It's just these other little parts that you can use to capture.
Okay, hold on,
income.
hold on. It all sounds.
Everybody has
good.
the same starting
How-
price. Everybody has the same
how are
amount of
we-
income coming in.
How are we keeping track of this, Wormy? There's gonna be so much moderation to do for it then.
Oh, what?
Yes, it will.
Spreadsheet, basically.
And then
That's why
right-
we'll have multiple people focusing on it.
For
No,
the,
no,
the
no,
smaller,
no, no.
the small thing of what's it called of just giving castles passive income. That's not hard to do at all. You can do that.
Yeah,
No.
but like, say we have 10 houses, we have to monitor the passive income of each house. We have to monitor the passive income
Oh, that's
of their
not a problem.
tiles.
You guys are missing the point. Holy. If you're gonna add
Well-
a economy to an interactive map, you need it scripted. You can't track it with a spreadsheet, dude. You guys are you fun?
Exactly.
It's not
It's
gonna be
2014.
scripted. It's gonna be.
It's gonna, dude, it's gonna take you 50 years to do everything. You're gonna get tired. People are gonna start.
What do you
getting-
mean?
Hey, look, dude, you
It
freaking.
takes me an
okay,
hour to jack off. It would take me an hour
Oh,
to write it up.
Wait, what?
An hour? Wow, you're impressive.
An hour? Alright, I do like 15, but it's crazy.
15.
Go on, development.
And,
Don't
one
make me
already-
get
No,
Kyle
look,
in here,
look.
Chris Bell.
If we're doing an income thing, no, come on. If we're doing an income thing, first of all, a spreadsheet's not viable. Not if we have multiple houses, all like claiming tiles
So you
with
had-
different
okay.
incomes.
Fair enough.
It can easily be
Um,
scripted. It can easily be scripted. You literally
It
add a
needs to be
UI.
scripted.
You add a UI that says, "Oh, this makes this much," and then you
So
literally
they
just
come
write
up
it down
here,
every
there's the
week.
Stormlands, right above it says the amount of income that they have in it.
Yeah, you click the tile, and then it just like we had before in the genre, and then it says, "Oh, this is well, I don't even know."
Yeah,
the
okay,
castle.
but
Well, look,
King's
this is
Landing,
Storm's
it
End.
This
makes-
is Hightower. It has,
Storm's End,
oh,
yeah.
it's got a total of 50,000 gold in it right now.
Hold on,
You
what
can,
is,
you can
One on
detect
the
how many
table.
how many has total and how many it makes. Not hard.
what
Yeah.
is the solution your income system is seeking to address?
So
Like, there has to
armies
be-
we're
there has to
thinking
be a
about-
problem.
Okay, so based on what we were talking about earlier on is based on the amount of you have an army. It takes about what, 2 weeks for it to respawn.
Uh-huh.
Say we do an army and the armies to be rebought are well, it's a max of 3 armies for every army. But if it dies and it takes 2 weeks to come back. If you decide to spend 10,000 gold, for example, you can have your house, your army respawn instantly back on your main spawn point. That's
Why?
basically what we're thinking. of.
Okay, who's having
it's
this
faster.
problem? Who's having the problem where the army's taking too long to respond? Like, if it isn't broke, why are we fixing it? What's
Well,
the
that
Well,
was
point?
no,
just-
no,
that was
that's a
just
bad
an attempt.
mindset. That is a bad mindset. We're always trying to innovate. We're in 2022 now. It's not 2014.
Yeah, innovation doesn't mean slap on income into areas that don't need it. Like the interactive map, honestly, people don't use it much. Okay, I'm not gonna be like.
But
That's
now
not
they
really
are
add-
going to
I
use
I
it.
kid you not.
Interactive
Pull
map,
half
right?
the genre. Pull half the genre. Ask them who was the first wielder of Dawn. They won't know because they haven't read the books. They haven't watched the shows. Okay, people don't give a shit about lore. Okay, what they're here for is they're here to play. So let's make it that it's better to play because that's the problem here. We only have one good house. Every other house is dying. There's no good
Yeah,
houses.
but just develop. If you
One
don't
good house.
There you
add
go.
new
oh,
stuff, right? What the fuck's gonna happen again? Genre dies. We need new stuff. We need to.
Yeah, we have new stuff. We have new stuff.
Okay,
We have
wait,
new
let me
tools. We have
speak.
King's Landing
So,
stuff. There's
this is what let me speak. You're not making bad points, but our solution to the problem, like I agree
What's the
that.
problem?
Doing the
What's
same
the
shit
problem?
every
Wait,
year.
okay,
and every
yeah,
year.
okay,
it
wait,
does
wait, wait.
the
There's
same
a huge
stuff
problem
and
with that,
it
but I'm surprised you're missing it because you're being smart. You're just missing like the huge point. The interactive map, and you just said that nobody looks at the interactive map. It's literally the staple of the genre. Every time that it does launch, though, houses get very motivated to like actually do things, and then they end up in battles. They get wiped, and then they leave the genre. It's simple as that.
They
And
can't
we need
be
to find a way to
arsed
balance
waiting
that.
2 weeks to get their stuff back. So rather than that, we offer in, hey, now you guys could just buy it back instantly based on these things here that you own.
We're looking for a
maybe.
way to balance
Okay, wait,
that.
How
people
many
are like,
houses?
man, I can't wait to get back into combat the next day by
This is
spawning my house.
this
for
is the
launch
wrong
out.
problem you're looking at here. Okay, fine. Let's assume that after a house gets its armies wiped, they quit the genre because of their armies. Let's assume that that is the premise. That is what you're claiming, right?
Uh-huh.
But you have to understand how many houses died after the Crown Bracket tournament.
That's
Well,
why-
no, Bracket tournament will kill house. That's what's
that's
gonna
a-
happen
that's a-
because people want crown. That's the point. Like
It's a
people
weird
want crown, but if
dichotomy
they don't get it, they
because-
just quit.
I was never in favor of doing a crown bag anyways, but
Let's be honest though, Crown Bracket has few houses with all rosters in them rather than
yeah,
houses.
exactly.
houses.
Yeah, so let's fix that problem. We launch ads. We set up systems so that we get new
Oh,
people.
look at what Davies typing
but
in
this
by the way
develop-
in the chat.
Ads
Look,
will
look.
only do so much, right? People need new things. Fierce hasn't released shit when he owned the genre. Like
Dude,
only
new
thing
people,
he ever did.
new people will bring new things. We don't need new things
So-
that much.
Okay,
Like,
okay, no. Okay, instead of doing this economy shit with the money, just have, if you're a small house, you respawn faster than big houses. Boom.
What's a small house?
Then
Okay,
people
then
want
why
that
people want to
disincentive
abuse that
vibe.
system?
Las Vegas house.
Wait, I have a question,
Okay.
Chris. What judges that? What judges if a house is bigger or smaller? Because what if they just all
If
in
they're
one?
new, if they're just spawning in, they just. So let's say, for example.
Egan just spawned in.
Yeah, but like Royce.
Okay, yeah, but the
but
genre's
they
fresh.
rather-
That's a bad point.
Like,
Okay, how about okay, wait. Then we can have a skill.
We base it on their skill
Let's
level.
not
If you're
do-
shit,
let's
you
not
get
do 2
faster
weeks.
spawn.
Let's not do 2 weeks for a house to spawn its armies back. Let's do it like this. The first army takes 5 days. The second army takes longer, right? So that way everyone has a base 1 army. So if you're a small house, your base 1 army, it's not going anywhere. You're not going to get hurt by losing a war because it'll spawn back really soon. But if
Yeah,
you're a big
true.
house, you might have to wait a little bit longer for your third army to spawn in. Just make it like a rolling system. You don't need to do this economy shit. Just fix the problem that actually exists.
How does the army spawning system work right now?
No,
like,
but
when you,
do you mean-
when you lose?
Doomin had a good point though. It's you don't leave the genre after losing because of the armies taking a while to respawn. You're leaving because it's embarrassing. You don't want to stay anymore. You lost the war. You're gonna lose the next one too. That's what people think. People don't think improvement. They think, hey, I lost. I'm gonna lose again if I try again.
That sounds like a
Well,
skill
that's
issue
why
on
we
your
were
part.
thinking-
That is a skill issue. Don't look at
It
me,
is a
bro. I mean,
skill issue.
But I've
I
lost
am
more
I'm
wars than all
positive
of
in
you
war to
together,
you, bro.
But now we're offering him the idea of different weapons in combat now. Offering different advantages and disadvantages of what they would have.
Is that something
So it doesn't
you guys
matter
would be
if you're
against?
shit now. You got a spear that does more damage, but slower speed. But then you have that reach. Plus, if you're a laggy fucker like Flaky is, then boom, you're gonna win. You know? But then you're thinking about, okay, there's the weakness part. Then we're talking about how many armies. We said 1 army, 2 spears. We could also do the same thing for battle axes or grey axes or maces and what the fuck. For that. So we can make
Okay.
it a bit more
So would you guys want that to make wars more interesting?
with different forms of combat. So you can
No.
imagine fucking...
Different weapons is a bad idea because people are only here currently for the technology. If you want to change the tech or
It's
the
not-
weaponry,
it's not
you need to
changing, we
wait.
already
Spears
have
are
it,
the
I
same
can
tech.
find
We already
it.
have spears. I think spears are necessary. Why not?
it's really hard to balance that. Because
How?
either how it works is that either one team will use, they'll either use all of one tool or all the other.
No,
They will
no,
not
that's
be
why
using
we're
it.
gonna limit it, Chris.
We're
That's why
limiting
we're
it.
like,
Or you want to limit it to those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
limiting at
so-
how many people can have it.
let me explain it, right? So
Go.
that's why I said the economy system. Let's say you have a certain amount of gold, but you want spears in your army, right? You buy,
You're
you
trying
use
to
that
copy
gold
that
to
Joe
buy,
guy's genre.
you buy a unit, right? A unit has 2 spears. That's it. If you buy 1 unit, you can only have 2 spears on your side. It's not like you can have like 20 spears on your team.
What are you working
I think it-
on, Ryan?
I think it can more be like, instead of that, it should just be every army has a default 10 longswords and 2 spears. It's optional if they want to bring them in. Not.
I mean, yeah, obviously, if you don't want to bring the spears, that's your choice. But if the other team brings spears, then don't cry about it if you lose to it.
How would you
Yeah.
like, how would you make sure that people use the spears, or maybe that they are not too powerful? in some scenarios because the current spears that you have, with whatever amount of damage, whatever amount of normals,
We can
it's-
balance
it's
them all the
just-
time.
it just gets countered by the longsword. The reason why the longsword was eventually picked out of all of the weapon pool was because the longsword just beat every weapon. It beat the heavy weapon, it beat the dagger, it beat the spear. It just was, better in every possible
Yeah.
way.
Okay, then like we've done with the swords, the lower swinging speed but the higher attacking. Obviously, if you get parried by it, then it's a bit like, oh no. But if one of them manages to hit you with a spear, for example, at a distance, whilst it's from like camping off against, say, King's Landing, you're going up that fucking ramp and they've got the corner bits cut off, so even if you come through, you're gonna get shanked straight away. And then they've got the longsword people. It's kind of just trapping you in certain places or in hallways, pushing you backwards.
And you're just being that's just counterintuitive because the problem of the
And the
interactive
parry
map
speed
is
could be
new houses
quicker.
dying. So let's say Egan gets 3 spare armies, right? And they have 6 spare players, and spare is just like better. They're just gonna win the war automatically. There's no, there's no fun in that. I don't think you're missing that point. That the problem with the interactive map is new houses dying. You're getting solutions to make stronger houses even stronger. That's what you're doing right now.
Well, people would need to train with it. It's a different sort of stuff. We're adding in other tech for other people to train
Okay,
with.
but this is what I said. Let's say Egan does get 3 spare armies, march around with it, and the spare is just better now because you buffed it. All right, they're just
Well,
gonna beat
that's
up
why
smaller
over
houses.
time we're discussing making it more fair-sided, trying to figure out a
What is
balanced
the
area
problem
for
we're
all.
solving? Answer the question. What is the problem we're solving?
Are we
Why do
solving
we have
new
to solve
houses?
problems?
Are we solving new houses
We're
being
solving
instantly killed?
we're all offering in ideas right now.
What does
That's
animated
what-
duel solve? It doesn't solve anything. It's just
Yes, it
good
does.
ideas.
Yes, it
No,
does.
it doesn't.
Yes,
So-
Yes, it does.
Okay,
Just
I
put
don't,
it
we
on
don't need
KO.
to. We don't need. No. We don't
You
need to
guys
talk about
wanted more
guys.
content. We're trying to add more content.
Animated duels is cool. That's very cool. I'm
Yeah,
not worried
but
about that.
content
We need
that
it.
It is
KO,
a
what?
cool.
Yeah, yes,
Content that makes
guys. Yes, we shouldn't even argue about that. Anime duels is gonna be sick. I don't want to focus on that. We need to focus on how to balance interactive map so that houses don't get shamed when they lose a battle. If we can do that, I think we can move
But
on to the next topic. That should be the main thing.
Additionally, can we give coordinators the ability to remove their own moderators at will? Because this blood guy is just like, nah, don't kick anyone, and the coordinators can't do anything about it.
That should how it be anyways. That should
No.
how it be.
The coordinators should
be in charge.
directly be in charge of their moderators, and then
They
the
are
head
in charge of the
coordinator is directly in charge of
They're
them.
not. They're not. They can't remove Quinton. They can't remove Jack.
Vile should be able to remove Quinton right now if he feels it's justified. No
Okay, well,
questions
does he?
asked.
Well,
Wow.
that's how
He
we are
can't.
doing it. No,
Ask him.
But
Ask him.
he's,
Okay.
he's
Chris.
saying right now he can't.
He's
remove
saying that
people.
he can't. He
Well,
just told me
if
he
bloody-
can't.
Yeah. If he wanted to kick Quinton right now, could he?
Vile can kick him for a good valid reason.
Okay, then we go
He
kick him
AA'd
then.
today.
He's a
He
fucking
AA'd an
mass
arcade
arcader,
today. Kick
uses
him.
god mode, and fucking, he just said, go for it. Go, Vile.
You
Vile!
have to message it
Vile!
for a good
Vile!
reason for it, other than the fact that it's that. But obviously I've been enforcing on the mod chat that they're no longer allowed to use dodge, fly, or invisible wolves.
No, but, okay, warn me, okay. Quinton is at the age where you can't teach an old dog new tricks, okay? He might stop guarding himself and killing people, but he'll find another stupid thing to do that you'll have to tell him off for.
Oh, to be honest, he doesn't mind if he leaves or not. He's sort
He-
of just there right now. I mean, we did a community poll. Like
He's objectively
60
a bad
people liked
moderator.
him.
That's it.
You know people
Yeah.
are voting for Quentin for the memes, dude. To be honest.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're
Yeah,
doing a
but-
community poll.
Jackie
so we
didn't
just
get
went
any
in.
votes. Why
Everyone
is she
will
still
vote.
there? Dad didn't get any votes. Why is he still there?
Yeah, if you go by votes, then she shouldn't be there. Like,
Well,
nothing
we
makes
got-
sense.
I think
The
Warmy.
voting didn't do
Okay,
anything.
so in terms of who's with who, Jackie and who is it, Viperio now, or is it Anne that is in charge
It's
of
Viprio.
Yeah,
I like
they're
it.
selected in by Jerry now to make them better usage for war moderation. Vile's in charge of Discord moderators. Discord moderators will be to do with PSK, King's Landing, and Discord stuff. War moderators will be to do with fun events as well as, well, war-related stuff. So
Yeah.
obviously, no, Jerry's in charge of war moderators, so Jerry's in charge of Jackie and Viperio.
I think Yes, you go for it.
Kyle's in charge of Quinton B right now, and Gold and 8-Ball.
I think war moderation should even involve in the interactive map. Like they should have a say in that.
Yeah,
like
I
to
did-
handle
They
that.
do.
Okay,
yeah, I
good.
said this to Chris Bell yesterday that it's not just wars we're gonna focus on. We're gonna
Okay,
try to host counter events like, and I also offered like I talked to Blood today. Like, I'm down to like help out with getting houses official or even the interactive map. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, if I just stick around just for wars aren't gonna
I have
happen.
ideas for
every week.
genre related events. I have ideas.
Yeah. Like, I've announced that, what you call it, Champions Arena thing. I've got
Yeah.
10 houses already signed up. I just need a few more, and that's it.
But-
Not 10 houses, sorry, 10 groups. 10, like, so far 50 people have signed up.
Okay, but can we make sure that both Discord moderators and war moderators can moderate King's Landing? Because I'm kinda tired of getting glitched intentionally and not being able to move by people
The
who should
thing-
be banned from KL
Listen,
months
listen,
ago.
I don't mind my
Yeah,
war
that's-
moderators going to King's Landing and moderating it. I have no issue with that, right? Personally, I don't go to King's Landing. Like, I find it boring. I'll say that right now. I don't give a shit about King's Landing. But if my war moderators want to go to King's Landing and moderate it,
Okay,
I'm fine
good.
with that.
Alright,
Yeah.
that's all I want to hear.
Ben Sum, how is Jackie a war mod? Yeah, so Blood made an announcement and Viprio and Jackie were put under my department. So I said, okay, fine. As long as they
Who
do.
are they? I
Yeah.
don't know who they are. They've never run a house
So
before.
that's
They've never
Joe,
used a tech
you
before.
listen to this? This is where it's wrong. Blood should be in charge of Jerry and Val. He should not be in charge of putting moderators into their positions because people
Yeah.
work best with people they agree with and people they like. If I apply for War Mod, I am friends with Jerry, I like Jerry, we work better together. Blood picking some random dude, putting him under Jerry's jurisdiction, and
No,
praying that it
obviously,
goes
that's-
well is not
that's
good.
why right now I'm picking the war mods. Like, I don't have an issue with Viprio and Jackie. Like, I don't really care about all the bullshit that's happened. But if they aren't doing their job, obviously I'm gonna remove them. But if they do what I tell them, that's fine, right? At least you guys can agree. If they're following what I'm saying, they're doing what I'm telling them, that's fine. But if they're doing the complete opposite, they're obviously gonna get removed instantly.
How can you complain about mods? I've never been able to complain. I can't
Who?
complain
Me?
about Blood, I can't complain about anyone.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Because when I complain to Blood, he cries about me saying stuff about Jackie.
Okay,
When I complain about Warmy,
DM
he doesn't
Warmy.
reply.
I
I
have
mean, when I
um,
complain to Warmy, he doesn't
DM
reply.
me. DM me. I'll talk to whoever the hell.
I DM'd you, and you said, lol, that's too much of a mute, and then you didn't do anything.
What
Do you
do
want
you
to see
mean?
it?
Hey, okay, fine.
Go
Let's you want to go right now? Let's look at it. Let's take a
Let's
look.
see
Let's
it.
take a look. Let's take a
Oh.
look. Let's take a look. Let's take
Oh,
a
look
look.
at
Let's
this.
take a
Oh,
look.
look at that. Oh. Oh, that's funny. You didn't do anything.
Alright, well,
Well, thanks for the
we'll
help,
discuss
Violet.
more with you guys regarding this whole economy thing and whatnot. After Friday. And then we'll do a community poll. We'll see how it goes. If people are down for it, we'll take time to implement it. Obviously, it won't be implemented instantly. But if you guys have any ideas, like, do message us. Like, I'm down to like listen to your ideas and let's see what we can do. Because Warmy's down to improve the genre in any way possible. So give us ideas.
See what I just said? You know what I just said about the fucking getting glitched? Poke literally just typed in general that he got glitched intentionally.
And Discord mods being in the house, or is that?
That sounds
be
like
honest, I'd
a.
rather
So
not.
the people
not
getting
mod-
glitched sounds more like a dead.
Can you no? Can you fix that? That should be your that the fact that if you pick someone up who's dead, it just completely glitches them out. I don't know how that's still a thing. It's been bugged for months.
Okay,
Hello?
fine. Here,
Dorian.
I'm
Hello.
going in and fixing it right now. How's that?
Thank you. In 2014, sure, it'll be okay for that
Hey,
to
also
be a thing,
one
but
controversial thing before we
Or
start.
no.
The usage of coughs and implementing of coughs in the game. I feel like coughs is a very powerful tool for King's Landing, coming from Targaryen's era, Lannister's era, for any era before, because the fact that we killed activity with coughs has been a huge issue. But I do think that like some events, like let's say coronations and stuff like that, should be still like maybe even ban the archairs at that point from the King's Landing, when they affect those type of events. But other than that, the cuffs are very, very powerful at the moment.
So, and no swords enabled during coronation. Coronation. when they
Warmy,
enter
what
the keep.
Oni what Oni said in community. You weren't there. I don't know where you were, but me, Oni, and some people talked about this in community chat yesterday. I think it was. Oni wants to remove cuffs altogether, and instead of cuffs, you just rally more men. So
No.
I disagree with that, what you said, because what you should do during a coronation is just rally enough people to the point where you keep everyone spectating at a distance where the arc carrier can't get to the person they
Oh,
To
coordinate.
be honest,
would you,
listen,
no,
listen,
no,
listen,
wait,
listen,
wait,
listen. Hold on,
Crispell,
hold on,
so
hold on,
would you-
hold on.
Would you agree that I can send my men and spawn kill you at the spawn? After
No,
the
no, no,
arc
no, no.
carrier?
You
because
just
I
said a
will,
line of
I
keep.
will. Because I'll make enough space so they're safe.
Look,
You know
okay,
what I mean?
dude,
That's
it's
not it.
feasible.
No,
It's
but
not
I'm
feasible
gonna
to
give
get
you a
rid of
chance,
cuffs.
You know what I mean?
It's not feasible to get rid of cuffs. It's really not feasible to get rid of cuffs.
I think cuffs are necessary.
I
I'm not
think
gonna lie.
okay, so
It's
I've
just you
been
need to
thinking about
balance
the
them.
cuffs for a long time, and I don't like the whole instant teleport thing. I think it's a bit abusive when people get down and you're off. The cuffs that I really enjoyed was in, if you've ever been to the Levantine, no, it's the Levantine Assassins genre. Do you know their cuffs? Don't know if you do. What happens
Not
is
sure.
when you're down, you go down, but then they use the cuffs and it basically drags you. So they force you along to take you to a prison cell, and then they drop you off there. And if you reset, you respawn there, so you're trapped in there, and then they set a timer for how long
We're
you're in
already
there for.
nerfing. We're already nerfing the jailing by allowing.
What happens
Yeah.
with that if you
Or-
let people grab, then the city watch is grabbing that person just becomes the target. Like
Yeah, you
everyone's
can
just gonna
grab
gang
him,
up on
drag
them.
him to the prison, but if he gets attacked midway by people, then they're free.
That's not feasible, Warmy. That's really not feasible. Like,
It's not feasible. I can imagine people taking
No,
advantage
that's
of
no,
that.
no, no. You're looking at it from a developer perspective. We're gonna spend months changing everything in this genre. I think it's better if you just edit the numbers so the max amount of arrest is 5 minutes and the lowest
Yeah.
is 1 minute. Because sitting in 20 minutes in jail for the only thing that you can do at King's Landing is random kill or kill random killers, right? You need both of these. If you don't have random killers, kill is so boring, right? And if you don't have fucking people to kill, there's no random killers. So just lower the amount of time that you can jail people for, so that random killers RK more, Egan gets entertained more, KJ gets entertained more fighting, more fun. That's the
Well,
first
Here's
and
another
foremost.
thing.
I'm
Okay,
pretty
look.
sure the arcane is what caused a lot of people to give up on it, and they're like fuck, they're gone. Now I can recruit in peace.
that is why we're moving archairs to a more legalized area, like the sewer. People have the gang shit. That is why we're nerfing the cuffs so you can break people out, so that you can have Egan protecting the jails, you can have the city watch protecting the jails. Like, we're getting there. Your solution, yeah, sure, it addresses one problem. You're leaving the other side open. People don't just go to King's Landing for arcane. They go for role playing. They go to hang out, right? So if we're just prioritizing arcane, if we're just prioritizing killing archairs, then you're missing the entire picture as a whole.
I think Crispell
can't-
just wants to go to KO to kill.
Yeah, like sure, Crispell, you want to do that, sure, but what if I don't? I don't want to arcade. I just want to sit there and chill. I don't
Fuck
want to
people.
deal with archairs knocking me, carrying me around everywhere. So we can move them to the sewers and do whatever the hell they want there.
That's the whole idea with the sewers map is what thing we're thinking of, you know.
Sweet,
King of the sewers
sweet.
and whatnot.
What do you think of that?
That's what I think about.
What if most of the archairs just go to the sewers and then you sit guarding the keep all day?
No, but that's what I think. I think